Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On the Clock with Personal Living Alert. I'm David, and I'm with Personal Living Alert, and today we have a good friend of mine, Kizzy Chambers. Kizzy is a care professional or care manager. I know they're trying to morph into the professional side of the title, at least, with FHL Care Management in Central Florida. So good morning, Kizzy. How are you today?
Good morning, David. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, and thank you for inviting me this morning.
Now, listen, I'm so glad you're able to come on. I always like talking to people on the front line, and we'll get into that in a second. But what I'd like to do at the beginning is just tell us a little bit about who you are, what's your background, how you got into the senior market.
Great. I have been in the social work field for probably a little over 15 years. I started off as a medical social worker, working in the hospital settings, assisting with discharge planning, doing case crisis management. Um, I worked on the oncology floor, and I also worked on the ICU neurology floors. And after over 12 years working in a hospital, I felt that I was not actually doing what I would like to do. That means I wasn't meeting the full need of patients because it was always a transitioning stage. They come into the hospital, their acute needs are met, and then we transition them out the hospital. There was never no oversight of how things were going beyond that. And so I started looking into working in the community, and throughout my research, I came across care management and kind of just went from there and was able to start my own business as a part-time to really gain the experience. And then I connected with FHL and started working with them full-time as a professional care manager.
No, that's
And I've been
awesome.
doing this since 2015.
Wow, that's awesome. It really is. That's very cool. Now, you guys are based in Central Florida, correct?
Yes, in Orlando, Florida.
In
Yes.
Orlando.
Mhm.
So, how is COVID-19 impacting your business right now?
Um, the The biggest impact that COVID has had is the face-to-face encounter that we are used to having with our clients. Many of our clients are placed in nursing homes or assisted livings, and respectfully so, we are not able to do any visits. Um, at one point, I was able to get into some of the facilities, but not as much anymore. So we're not able to have that face to face, which makes it challenging to maintain their medical appointments. Although a lot of physicians are completing services via telehealth services, many of our clients are not available to actually facilitate those meetings on their own. So we had to delay some of the non-emergent appointments. Other ways that have impacted the business and our clients are just their readily availability to resources that they would normally have. Um, I actually wrote an article about suffering throughout the COVID-19 after I had two family members reach out to me about the concerns of the decline of their loved one while in the facility, and more of the decline from a cognitive standpoint. For example, one family member noticed that the verbal, the ability for her mother to verbalize information via telephone had become more challenging. And through that thought process, I was thinking, wow, like, did anyone think about the significant impact of how that would have on residents with dementia?
Yeah,
And
you're right. The isolation on a person
yes,
with dementia. I've talked to the people who have those types of facilities, and really, it's traumatic. It's not pretty to see, but they're trying to keep as social as possible. But you got to have that one-on-one interaction with them. It's very difficult.
it's very challenging. Yeah. So those things have a significant impact, just not us, but our residents. You know, they're declining slowly, and ultimately, we're going to see the brunt of the decline in the quality of their life. And it makes me worry of the state I'm going to find my resident when I'm able to finally do the face-to-face encounter with them again.
Speaking about worries and things like that, have any of your clients, I mean, that you're able to see, the ones who are, say, at home, been tested positive, or do you have any worries as a caregiver going into somebody's house today?
As a care manager, I try to minimize my encounter in the home. When I do, I try to make sure I'm following the CDC guidelines. None of my clients have been tested for positive for the COVID, but a lot of the client family members are very strict of who's coming into the home. When I enter into the home, I am following CDC guidelines. I am trying to making sure I'm 6 feet apart. I am wearing my mask. And in most cases, I'm wearing my gloves. Even if I'm going into the home to help with the medications, I'm wearing gloves when I am in the home. Um, and I mean, I go beyond the point where if there's a if I have a client who lives alone and I walk in the kitchen or I'm walking around the house and I don't see any cleaning products, or I don't feel like maybe they have wiped down their countertops over the past day or so, I'm actually going in and wiping down their countertops and wiping down the handles on their refrigerators and wiping down their medication dispensers. So at least I know that when I'm in there, that there's some type of sanitizing going on.
Yeah, I don't think people understand, even though the word care is a little four-letter word,
Hmm.
how much care managers truly do care about their clients that they work with. It really is amazing to me, and I just take my hats off to everybody in that market. So, are you having any trouble getting PPE, or are we able to procure enough, or any issues with that?
There are some challenges, but we have overcome those challenges. We locally there are many individuals that are creating masks, and so we are tapping into those resources and purchasing those masks. We are purchasing gloves and trying to stay on top of making sure we have the gloves, and we're purchasing the hand sanitizer. So we have had some challenges, but again, we have been able to keep up and make sure that we have the PPE on hand. Hmm.
Now, I know you're a member of ALCA Aging Life Care Association.
Hmm.
All right. Now, are they providing any guidance to you? Is FHL providing guidance? Or you just, I mean, where are you getting your guidance on what to do, how to act, and all that kind of stuff?
From the association standpoint, yes, they are flooding the listservs with information. As they receive information, they are making sure we are staying on top of it. And it's not really just about the organization itself. The members within the organization, we are communicating. We are communicating via email of any information that they come across, any resources. So we are, I think we are becoming very well versed and what universal precaution looks like. And we are making sure that everyone is staying in the loop and possibly having access to resources that someone else may have found challenging to access. As from FHL standpoint, we all work together and we share the same information to make sure that we are following the guidelines, or if we have any questions or concerns, we are actually with us. We, at one point, we were completing conference calls daily. Now we have decreased the conference calls to twice a week. And so part of that conference call is talking about the challenges, what are we seeing different, trying to stay on top of where we are, especially when it comes down to the visitation restrictions. We're trying to make sure that we are aware of what the guidelines are going to be when it's time to re-enter the facilities, because we don't want to prolong our opportunity to go into the facilities if we're not complying with whatever mandate the facility is asking of us.
Now, you mentioned the facilities. I know a lot of your clients and a lot of other care managers, clients are in facilities. Have you been given any indication on when they, I mean, the ease opening up? I mean, we're here in Broward, you're in Orlando. Yeah, we're still in Florida, but you're 180 miles away. We're
Hmm.
not even open. I think we opened Monday for restaurants, and you guys have been open
Hmm.
for at least a week, maybe two already. So
Correct.
are you seeing anything as far as like when you may be able to go into a facility?
Good question, David. Not as of yet, and I know each area is going to be different because the hot spots are different, right? So we're going in. It's going to look different in each area. What I do is when I reach out to a lot of the executive directors, I ask that simple question: have you guys received any guidance on how it's going to look when you're to allow visitors back into the facility? And if you have, Is there a criteria? What are they looking for us to do? Those things are important. I don't know how many people are asking those questions, or that one question is, what is the expectation from care managers or any other third party that's providing services into your community? What do you think they're going to be requesting of us? What are we going to be required to do in order to enter back into the facility? And everyone thus far I have asked, they don't have a answer to that. They haven't gotten that far. But I ask every week because I want to make sure I don't miss that opportunity, that window of opportunity to get my answer and to make sure that I can be proactive in planning.
That makes total sense to me.
Mhm.
So let me ask you this on more on a personal note. How are you keeping sane right now during this?
Well, as a mental health professional, because I'm a licensed clinical social worker, I have to dig into my own tool, right? My coping skills. A lot of things I'm doing is understanding what I can control and what I cannot control. I think that's like the biggest thing. If you understand what you can control and what you cannot control, then you have a better sense of your reality. You cannot control the uncertainty. You cannot control when this is going to end. You cannot control tomorrow. You cannot control yesterday. You can only look into what is happening now, and if you focus on the here and now, that helps you keep you focused and decrease your anxiety. Another thing that I am doing is a couple of my friends and we have Zoom game night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we host Zoom game night and we get very creative with the games that we are playing throughout Zoom game night, and it is very relaxing and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Like, I figured you could probably do Pictionary, right? You put people in little groups. You can do, but how do you
Mhm.
do like a board game? You can't do Monopoly because everybody's got to have their own board or what. Some of these, I'm not creative enough, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and you have to get creative. A lot of the game nights we do is like questions, have you ever, or
Oh,
just things like that that you can actually do over the phone. You can do like charade over the phone because through Zoom, because people can see you and you can stand up and do certain things within the camera. So you can just get very creative. You can do TikTok, that little app that everyone is doing with the dance and
you all
through.
understand what TikTok is and how it works.
Well, I don't know how it works. I just follow everyone else's directions.
Uh,
So,
so, are you ready to? Are you and your husband and ready to go out to dinner and things like that, or are you? Because are you still, like being home?
I'm over being home. It's interesting. You asked that question because I was talking with a friend the other day, and I told her I don't even look forward to the weekends anymore because there's not much to do. Whereas in the past, the weekend was my sanity. Like, let me work hard all week and let me just relax over the weekend, find something fun to do. Now with the limitations, it's very challenging. So my husband and I are looking forward to being able to be out as soon as possible. Um, he is a lot more reserved than I am, so he's not in a rush. He has made it clear to me and everyone else, just because the governor has opened back up the state, that doesn't mean you need to participate in everything.
Exactly.
Um, so we are moving slowly. We do small things. We have small family gatherings, keeping in mind that people are 6 feet apart. And it's very funny because in our backyards, we have chairs spread at 6 feet apart. Uh, we are asking questions. We like, have you been sick? Have you been around anyone? And, we may have a small barbecue. We use the disposable plates, disposable cookware. That way everything is thrown away at the end. We have done small things like that, but, we are ready to kind of get away, but there's no rush.
Now, you see, Fabian and I, we talk about this all the time, and we're not ready. I mean, you know, I, sometimes I'm jonesing to go and get something to eat, but
Hmm.
for the most part, I would tell you 90 something percent of the time, we're okay staying in,
Yeah.
and just chilling, cooking and just actually, I mean, we were pretty close. We're not newlyweds, only married, I think, 5 years now.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. But so I think we're enjoying the still getting to know each other, and hanging out.
Yeah.
So it's different, I guess. Maybe somebody's married a lot longer, but Yeah, we have no desire to go
Yeah.
out. There's a drive-in movie that I think is going to open up, and then you can sit in your own car. So
Hmm.
that might be interesting. Bring something to eat, sit in your own car. I might do that. As far as anything else, no, not right away.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone is different. Like for me, like I said, there's no rush, but I'm ready to take a vacation and not a staycation, but to actually get away. But again, that's challenging because every state is different with where they are. So we're just waiting patiently and we actually do the best we can do.
There you go. Hey, Kizzy, you're a wealth of information, and I appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else does too. So we're all learning about care managers. I had Liz Barlow, the president of Alca, on, and she explained what care managers were. And now you're on. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you and learn more about care management or just ask questions, how can somebody reach you and FHL?
Yes, well, they can always email me at kcaldwell, KCALDWELL at FHLcaremanagement.com, or they can call me on my cell number, 407 367 9300.
Perfect. And I appreciate that. Kizzy, I just want to say thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend a few minutes with us. I love the laughing, but I think it was super informative, and I think
Thank you.
it's what we got to do.
Thank you. I thank you for inviting me. This was a very special moment for me. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Not a problem. I'll talk to you soon, Kizzy.
Talk to you soon.